A duck walked up to a lemonade stand and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bump, 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 got any grapes?"
Hello and welcome back to Anonymous Animators. I'm your host as usual, Wesley Boone. And today's guest is Nikko Ronsayro, who's worked on shows like Teen Titans and even does some comic books on the side. Hi, Nikko.
Hey, Wesley.
He is a Canadian animator, but you originate from the Philippines.
Sure.
And he's here to tell us a little bit about his life. So, Nikko, let's jump straight in.
Cool.
Where exactly did you start with the whole I wanted to be an animator?
I never wanted to be an animator as a kid. I wanted to be a scientist.
Okay, well.
Yeah. But then I moved to Canada and we didn't have cable. But we had a computer, so I turned to the internet for my cartoons because I loved cartoons, but I never made the connection that people made them.
Mm.
And I found Newgrounds and, Flash animations and such. And I realized I can make that. I can make that.
Mm.
And that's pretty much how it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, that's enough for today. Okay, so basically, your start isn't really like, oh, I'm watching Disney.
Yeah.
And then I'm inspired. It was Newgrounds that really sort of opened up your mind.
Yeah.
Any particular cartoons that really started, like any... Because I was actually speaking with Spencer, where he also mentions Newgrounds, and he mentions a few favorites for him. Anything in particular? Any cartoons in particular that sort of...
I think the one that really hit home was Dad's Home, if you remember that.
I don't think I do.
It's about just a dad who does stuff.
I honestly don't remember.
I'm not selling it very well.
Yeah.
His head is on fire at some point. It's cool.
Okay. So just... Yeah, okay. All right, well, and as for artists from Newgrounds, because, I mean, with me it was Ego Raptor, that was one of my favorites.
Ego Raptor, I can't name any, because it's been so long.
Yeah. I remember with Newgrounds there was a ton of awesome... I used to go mostly for the cartoons, but the games were pretty interesting too. They would keep you busy in the meanwhile. But yeah, so from there on, what was the path from I want to make cartoons on Newgrounds? Did you actually publish anything on Newgrounds?
Yeah, a bunch.
Like as Nikko guy?
Frozen Tree.
Frozen Tree.
13-year-old username.
Yeah. Any cartoons that like any daily awards or anything?
One got a daily award.
Oh, nice.
It was some music video for some song.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate?
No.
Oh, come on.
It's very embarrassing. It's all really bad.
Is it? Have you cancelled the account? No,
it's all still there. It's just
So what's the name of the user again?
Well, I don't want to say it.
Typical artist, so shy of your older work. Yeah, I used to make funny little GIF. I like to say jive, but anyway, sometimes I've been told not to say jive.
I like to say gifey.
Yeah, just to. But I used to make GIFs. Yeah, I used to make GIFs for my friends because I didn't know anything about making cartoons. I just sort of drew pictures and then put them next to each other and then added sound to it. And I used to make like adventures of me and my buddies. I actually want to redo them.
Oh, okay.
But it was never anything I could post on the internet because nobody would understand. It was literally just jokes between me and my friends, right? So like anything like that as well. Yeah. Okay. So stepping from your Newgrounds intro.
Yeah.
Carry on your history.
For a bit, I got sidetracked and started making comics and gave up the animation thing for a bit. Mm-hmm. But just after high school, I just kept trying to get into animation schools. Eventually went to fan arts, and now I'm here.
Okay, so it's a pretty straightforward story.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Well, what schools did you apply to before fan arts?
Tried Capilano for a bit, but that didn't go through because they have a pretty rigorous portfolio process. Okay. And eventually just jumped on fan arts. Like I could just pick that. Okay. Then worked out.
Yeah. I'd ask you some questions about actually getting into the whole thing because I that's actually been a question I've been asked before to move it on.
Yeah.
I don't ask show questions yet because I don't get anything show specific. But somebody did mention that they'd like to know more about. So what was your process of really getting into animation? Like, did you just decide to become an animator, or was it like, so from the Newgrounds thing, and you just sort of followed the steps?
Well, for some reason, while I was like making cartoons for Newgrounds and just on my own, I never thought of it as a job.
Mm-hmm.
But high school was ending. Like, oh, it's time to go to college and be an adult. Ooh.
Yay!
And I'm like, I guess I'm doing this. I could do this for money.
Yeah.
So I looked at schools and stuff. I looked towards Capilano, and they're like, you should do life drawing. That's what the animators do. And so I started going to life drawing classes and started learning more about animation and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you did go to Capilano then?
I didn't go to Capilano.
So you studied? Sorry.
What is happening?
What am I missing? Yeah.
Okay.
Whoops. Okay. So where did you go for the life drawing?
To Capilano.
Okay.
I just didn't go there for the animation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. My bad.
There we go.
I got confused.
Yeah.
All right. And then so from Capilano, then other schools applied for, or did you go straight to Van Arts?
I guess I just went to Van Arts after Capilano.
What lured you to Van Arts in particular?
It was the cheaper one compared to VFS.
Yeah.
By like a grand or two.
Mm-hmm. It's a good starting point. Everyone, you want to go study?
Yeah.
But okay, so what
everybody go to Van Arts.
It's cheaper.
Oh, and I also looked at the teachers and stuff, and they had really good credentials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But any other than the price, any particular reason, like?
Yeah, I guess
because you did the 2D course, right? The 2D character.
Yes, I did the 2D course.
So you had Charles, Mark, and Wayne for the most part. Did you had, because you were my senior, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you were in class 2D 3-4.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess you pretty much had the same experience as I did. Your final project, which is something. Tell me about your you obviously finished a movie. Your 30 to 5 seconds.
Yeah. I didn't do a film.
Mm-hmm.
I was planning on doing a film. I had the boards and everything. Then, like, on the day we were gonna animate it, I'm like, this is not good. This is bad.
Would you care to share the story
I'm bad.
that you decided not to make?
So I was just jungle boy running from a T-Rex, stealing eggs or something. Yeah. I didn't like it.
Okay.
So I just moved on to doing 3 shorts. It was a dialogue piece and a scene with a girl dancing.
Okay.
And then a monkey pulling out a bird's tongue.
I think I saw that.
It sounds weird when you say it out loud.
Yeah, but
yeah.
So were you the one who had the influence with the Ren and Stimpy style?
Nope.
Who was that?
That was Keegan. Yeah.
Man, I should get that guy.
You should get that guy. He's cool.
Yeah, I loved his awesome. But anyway, we're not here to talk about him. We're here to talk about you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So at Van Arts, you did the year thing. You didn't do a final film. But have you? But you say you're mostly into comics. So are you doing any recent comics? Like any stories in particular you're building? Have you got a web comic that people can maybe look into?
I don't like doing long form comics because they're hard and you have to commit to them and stuff. So I like doing short form comics, just shorter stories.
Like what are they called? Omakis?
Mini comics.
Yeah, like just for so still like a book, but just like a one book thing.
Yeah, like a couple pages, 6 to 10 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Nikko's actually involved in a project that we've started. We haven't got a name for it yet, but basically just a bunch of artists getting together to make some comics. What was one of your themes that you wanted to?
Oh yeah, I suggested some themes.
Kissing a duck.
Kissing a duck.
Kissing a duck and an egg.
Egg. Singular egg.
Yeah. Just egg.
What's the other one?
You got quite a few votes though.
Yeah, people enjoyed it.
Yeah. I must be honest. I don't quite understand the mindset behind it. What was the idea behind? What did you have for your ideas for kissing a duck and an egg?
I didn't have any.
You were just hoping it would come to you?
Yeah. I figured if you get to like a really specific topic, it kind of puts some restrictions within you, and that's where you're kind of forced to be more creative to work around the restrictions.
Okay. So like if I'd said something along the lines of like an egg could have contained the universe and then broken out, then because I was talking with some other kids and we're like, how are we gonna involve an egg? We just have it rolling down a hill while we do something else.
There you go. That's where your brain starts kicking.
I mean, I very much appreciated the because what's great about the team we're currently working with is how different everyone is. And I will probably put links up because we'll post it on Mox, who's one of the helpers or one of the artists in this group. We'll put it on. He's got a website that's steady, so we'll put all our stuff on the website as well as print them out. And I'll put links whenever it's up. It won't be up for a while.
Cool.
But if in the future you're listening to this, the links will probably be up it'll probably be up in the YouTube comment section. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
I get lazy when I have to do the maintenance of this stuff. All right, so into comics, into cartoons, and this is your second year animating. You started animating lots. You worked on Teen Titans. How was that?
It was pretty good. Still working on it. Jumping on to season 3.
All right.
Yeah.
So you were. This is the new Teen Titans Go, right?
Yeah.
And you jumped in season 2 or started with season 1?
I started season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that been as a production?
Pretty good. It's super smooth. Like we're actually gonna end early, which is not a thing that happens in animation.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, we're a few months over already with our project.
It's just super smooth sailing.
Awesome.
It's because it's season 2 and they have stuff figured out from season 1.
Yeah,
I've heard mistakes.
I've heard that in DHX as well. Like even though there's a lot of work obviously that goes into it because you don't just relax, but. Yeah, once you have your resources and your puppets and your rigs and everything built, then it's like you don't have to beg too much. Yeah. I guess I can see why first seasons can slug on a bit. Okay, so you're an animator in Teen Titans?
Yes.
I'm guessing junior position.
We don't have junior positions. It's like you're a lead or you're not a lead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I suppose that's pretty much what we have too.
Yeah.
I would assume the non-leads. I don't know if that would be. Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't want to make some people feel self-conscious about this, but I guess. And are you ever interested in like going into the animating in Harmony, by the way, or
Flash?
Flash. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're more comfortable. Like, is that what you did at the school? Did you also animate in Flash and Harmony?
I animated in both. They taught me Harmony in school, but I knew Flash from just working
for Newgrounds.
Yeah, just making my own cartoons. Yeah. You learned some coding as well. Always gonna learn that stop play button. Yeah. I made some super simple games and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. What type of games?
Like weird platformers that didn't really do anything.
I tried to make a fighting game once.
That's really complicated.
Yes, I learned that the hard way because I started off and so I designed the characters. I just designed like I love to in my head. I'm always like putting my friends in like fighting games. Okay. So like, but not because I want my friends to beat the tar out of each other, but because I like the idea of like designing unique people. Okay. So like, so if I had to put you in a fighting game, I'd like like have you like with your, like a grand pose like those fighters tend to have, but with a cool weapon that I'd have to whatever conceptualize. And then I like to sort of like imagine this character would be slower, but they'd hit harder or whatever. I don't necessarily balance it right, but Okay. And then. So I would design the characters and then I wanted to animate them. And so then the animation became like this weird sort of Flash puppet thing that like, it was very clunky. But it was fine, it moved. And then the programming and the hitboxes and then I was out of it. Then I was like, I don't even...
Did it get off the ground?
They stood on the ground.
Okay.
And I think I would have preferred doing it like Street Fighter style in the sense of sprites moving, which would have taken a heck of a lot longer to do, but I think I would have preferred that versus making sort of a like what do you call them, rag bodies, rag dolls, you know, that just sort of like flop around because I couldn't get the arms up again and like everything was just like flopping around. So I was like, okay, I guess this is not the thing that's going to happen. But okay, so you made platformers.
Yeah.
And so, no little puzzles and stuff.
No, just platformers.
Oh man.
I wanted to make Mario.
Oh, okay. Well, are you looking forward to that new Wii U Mario creator?
Oh, right. I don't have a Wii U.
Well, you can play on your buddies. Just buy the game. It's like whatever. Okay, so but you got a 3DS though, right?
Yeah.
What are you playing right now?
Smash, of course.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think everyone's playing Smash right now. Have you tried to play online?
Yeah.
How's it for you? Because it's super slow for me, but it could be because I'm using a European server.
Maybe your internet's just bad.
No, I honestly think it's the European server.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you might be right, but I don't know. Like, every other thing I connect to at the
Okay.
house that I work in is super fast.
Okay.
The moment I connect to a European server, because I use a European 3DS, so I
Okay.
assume that's what they automatically send
Yeah,
me. Yeah. So you have pretty much, like, you know, a good rate. I can't remember what you call it. Latency?
Connection?
There we go.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, you
good.
gotta-
Yeah,
oh, man.
smooth.
I'm so angry. I want to play online, but I can't.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Where were you in your history? We were about Teen Titans.
Yep.
And I guess that's pretty much where you are right now.
Yeah.
How did you get? What company are you working for?
Bardell.
Oh, okay. So getting into them was pretty simple.
Yeah.
You just walked in, kicked the door down, showed them your portfolio.
Yeah, I believe Lawrence recommended me.
Ah, you bastard.
Yeah.
Man, that's you do need to know some people, right?
Yeah. I got the job before I even graduated and stuff.
So and so. Walker, and you know Walker?
Yeah. He did.
That so and so didn't even graduate and he
Yeah.
got a job. I was like, I got to get him on this as well because
Yeah.
I want to scream at him for a while.
That guy.
That guy has the luck of, I don't know, isn't the luck of the Irish a bad thing? He's got the luck of somebody.
Yeah. You could just say he's lucky. You don't need to use a saying of some kind.
Yeah. All right. Well, so tell me a little bit more about the way you art.
The way I art.
Yeah, the way
Yeah.
you art. If you get what I'm saying, like, take me down
Like
a little bit of your art history.
my process for illustrations or like.
Any okay, well, what got you into art? Like, I mean, obviously, getting into animation was started by getting into art, right?
Well, I always drew, of course, like everybody else who doesn't draw. Yeah. Was very influenced by cartoons, and I would make comics as a kid, but I didn't really read comics because I didn't have access to them. I wasn't close to any comic book stores. So I was just trying to make cartoons on paper, and I guess you end up with comics when you try to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, that's how it started. Watched a lot of anime, watched a lot of Dexter's Lab, Cartoon Network stuff. Yeah.
Any particular Cartoon Network shows that you that really inspired you? I know Samurai Jack is quite a popular one.
Yeah. I'd say Dexter's Lab is like one of my biggest influences.
So you're, man, I always butcher this guy's name. The
Genndy Tartakovsky.
Yeah, Tartakovsky. I always want to say Tartiovsky or something like that. But yeah, so you're a big fan of his work. How are you feeling for Popeye that's coming out?
I'm excited for it.
Because it's
really good.
looking good, especially for a 3D film.
Yeah, exactly.
I was rewatching Hotel Castlevania recently. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
And actually now, because I watched it before becoming an animator, now having become an animator, it's like I've noticed a lot of other things that like just the way that he makes Dracula move.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that the riggers for that were like getting like dismayed with him because he wanted them to do things. You dig his work. Who did you for your history presentation?
It was Genndy.
I was having a feeling. So okay, so I'm guessing he's a big influence for you.
Yeah,
then.
definitely.
Any interesting tidbits you want to share about him?
Don't remember my presentation. I think his dad died.
Oh no!
There we go. He has a dead dad.
Like, where's he from again?
Europe-ish.
That big area.
Europe-ish.
So he's not like Ukraine style.
Maybe
it's not East European. I'm sure it is.
That's in Europe.
Yeah, because I watched a documentary with him a bit more recently, but
I know where Europe is. I've seen a map.
Yes, North America's education kicking in again. I see.
I've touched the map before.
I shouldn't say anything. I don't even remember where this guy's from. My memory retention is terrible.
Yeah.
Which the show will document quite frequently.
Cool.
All right. Okay. So you've any other influences? And yeah, back to your art history. Really, did you take art at school?
Yeah, of course. Didn't really like it too much. Don't like being told what to draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see a bit upset about our choices with the comic book.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah.
And you say that, but meanwhile you're like, while you're drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to it. I suppose we're still waiting for everybody to post their storyboards.
Yeah. I gotta get on that.
Yeah, I think after the storyboards we'll hop straight into.
Okay, cool.
Just hand in by March, everyone.
Cool.
So yes, release date March 2015.
Yeah.
Be there.
Available at VanCaf. Woo!
What's VanCaf?
It's a comic festival in Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver Comic Arts Festival.
Yes.
Wow, I nailed that.
VanCaf.
That's what I assumed that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyway, sorry to move away from that. Yeah, so you don't like being told what to draw, so you didn't really get along well with your art teacher.
Yeah.
Did you do art and art history at the same time?
Art history?
Yeah, because I remember in high school for me it was when I chose art as my it was we had to do it was two classes, but it counted as one class.
Okay.
Yeah, we had art and art history, so it was the actual, and then if you dropped to a standard grade, you could just then do the art.
Okay. We did not have art history. We just had art.
Okay.
And yeah, I would take art, but I didn't really like art stuff. I didn't like to paint and to sculpt.
Mm-hmm.
I like to doodle. A lot of my drawing was done in math class because I'd be really bored.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay.
A lot of my art in high school was just drawing, not in art class.
What comics did you make though? For because again with Spencer, like he was mentioning his comics that he would make for anything like that.
I made a lot of them, but I don't
classmates.
remember any storylines. I used to make this one comic based on my one friend, Cece. She because she was really interesting. She worked at a bee farm, and she went to fashion school. And,
This sounds Scott Pilgrim-ish in a way.
Yeah, and she wore a cow hat. They're I'm gonna just make you into a cartoon, and I did that for a bit.
And then it was there's no such person as this. What's wrong with you? It's no, she wears a cow hat. Look, here's a photograph.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did that for a bit. Near the end of high school, I made a lot of Nuzlocke comics. If you know what those are.
Oh, the Pokemon.
Yeah, you play a game of Pokemon, and then you kind of document it with certain. You play Pokemon with certain
the Nuzlocke
restrictions
challenge.
and stuff.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Okay,
Then,
you made a comic about it.
Yeah, and that's
cool.
what you do is you play the game that way. Then you make comics.
Oh, okay. I thought you just played the game.
Yeah,
the challenge.
You could do that too, but the original thing I think was to make a comic with your gameplay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how did yours end?
I don't think I finished the comic, but yeah, I got pretty far into it. I got 80 pages. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
that's
playing Pokemon.
Now, is this saved anywhere, or is it just drawings in a folder?
It's in my DeviantArt that I'm not gonna say out loud.
A bunch of youngling drawings there. Yeah. I deleted my old DeviantArt account.
Yeah.
Not because I'm actually sad I did that, because I had 2 or 3 drawings on there that I've completely lost.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't realize that when I deleted the account.
Yeah.
I was I deleted the account, and a few weeks later I'm where's this drawing? I need it. And then I was
it's gone forever.
Yeah. I'm sure they got a backup of it somewhere, but it's not that important. It was a drawing of another drawing that I just really liked, and it just looked good. I was oh wow, it came out good. Okay, and then so you didn't like your art history, art school.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing you got through it at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how is the art here? Because my experience with art school is in high school is we have to keep a journal, and we have to continuously write down what we're doing, and basically trying to Leonardo da Vinci it all up. And meanwhile, I just wanted to draw pictures and paint pictures and sculpt, and that's all I wanted to do. But no, I have to document all this other nonsense about my feelings, and I'm I don't feel jack shit. I just want to draw.
Yeah, we didn't have that. Just projects we're drawing landscapes, and we're drawing this apple.
Here's some fruit. Man, that's a bowl of fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, then Capilano, and then
and started going to life drawing. Started getting better at drawing because life drawing does that to you.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty concise history.
Yeah.
Anything you want to put in there to spicing it up?
Can we edit out 30 minutes of silence?
We can edit it in and save you some time. Okay, well, no worries. Okay, well, I'm going to start asking you a couple of things.
Cool.
Like, what exactly? You've obviously developed an art style. 'Cause, I mean, I've seen your Inktober stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you do have a particular style.
Okay.
So, what's influenced that style? Like, I mean,
Okay.
which artists have you copied and
Yeah.
then developed your own
Right.
style?
It's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Adventure Time's a pretty basic one, you know, with like bold shapes and stuff. I'm not so much influenced by him anymore,
Okay.
but like even just a couple months ago, Tyson Hess.
Okay.
Have
yeah.
you read his stuff? Boxer hockey?
Yeah. I've got the first 2 books.
Yeah,
I've been meaning to get the third one.
Yeah. He was a big influence in my art.
Well, he's fun to read because it's great art and
Yeah.
it's also a very interesting story.
Yeah.
Because sometimes great artists, I don't know if I guess he works with a writer or does he come up with it?
I believe he writes it himself.
Oh wow, that's even
yeah,
because
it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's I mean not to dismiss like great artists or great writers, but sometimes it's just like you're one or the other.
Yeah.
It's very nice to see somebody who, because I mean I've read interesting comics written by people who are great artists, but it's not like so interesting. Like I would watch Box Hockey if it was a cartoon. Let's put it that way. You know?
Yeah, he's a very good writer and artist.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. I guess right now I'm really influenced by Anthony Holden.
Okay.
He's just, I believe he works at DreamWorks at the moment, and he used to work for Leica. He's just a storyboard artist that's does a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so Anthony
Holden. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that myself at least. But yeah, it's always nice to check out this guy because I mean they're always online anyway.
And Scott Pilgrim.
What's his name? Man,
Brian Leonelli.
Oh, yes, there we go.
Oh, and Corey Lewis.
Okay, Corey Lewis, I'm not familiar with.
Shark Knife.
No.
If I say it over and over again.
Yeah, it's a jackal. It's a jackal.
Shark
No,
Knife.
it
I
doesn't
can
help.
raise my voice several octaves.
Shark.
Yeah, dogs will bark. And it'll be a good time.
No, that doesn't sound familiar. But again, my brain is like a sieve.
Comic artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
With Brian O'Malley, have you read Seconds?
Yes.
And what did you think?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not as grand of a story as the Scott Pilgrim thing was, but it was very enjoyable. Art improved a lot because, you know, time.
I think Scott Pilgrim was probably like, and then Liz would know way more about this than I would.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that was prepared over a longer period of time.
Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It's like $6.
Yeah. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, whereas Seconds is it's prepared for one story.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's been, like, if you see the release of Scott Pilgrim to now, I don't think he was preparing Seconds while he was writing Scott Pilgrim. You know what I mean? So, like, there was a short amount of time for him, I think, to release Seconds than there was to release Scott Pilgrim, and that's got a bigger universe to it. Yeah. But it was a great story. I loved I don't know, I love his art style. It's, you know, I try to draw it myself every now and then, and I mean, you know, but like I thought it moved well, because the thing I loved about Scott Pilgrim was I really identified a lot with Scott. Like, which I think is key for it. I think that's who he attracts, a lot of people who relate to Scott, you know. Then that actually makes me ask this, because I ask everybody this question. Yeah. What do you think of Michael Cera's representation of Scott?
It was okay. It's just like a different interpretation of it. It wasn't as like kind of bombastically dumb and outgoing as Scott is. He
was you know, like the way I say it is like it was Michael Cera playing Michael Cera's version of Scott Pilgrim. Like, you know, like the way, like if you were to identify Scott Pilgrim, that's how you know, like, I don't know. I must be honest. I think I would have preferred somebody else. I remember a few years ago I had somebody else in mind, but at this moment I don't know.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, totally, man. You know, Brad Pitt as Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like Brad Pitt to play me in the story of my life. It would be great. Yeah. I think he catches my eyebrows.
Yeah.
All right. And so then your influences have obviously dictated your style.
Definitely, yeah.
Any particular whimsies in your style that you like to that you've noticed about yourself?
I just like to switch back and forth between like certain styles, like you know, some drawings will use like the Adventure Time tube arm thing. Yeah, sometimes they'll use actual anatomy.
Hey man, we do what you want.
Yeah. They'll use like thicker lines and like, you know, just
Okay.
I'm a big fan of variation and experimentation. Because for like a bit, I got really stuck into just drawing like pretty girls in a pose. Ooh, look at me, cute. Yeah.
That's where I am right now.
Yeah.
It's like I drew so many silhouettes, or not even silhouettes, but like gestures of like big hipped, hourglass figure woman.
Yeah.
And now it's like I'm like that's what I'm using this Inktober to do, is just try to do something different.
Yeah.
But my hand or my sketches before are always like these women, and I'm like just draw not a big busty woman for 5 seconds of your life. I'll get back to them next month.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with this Inktober. Just different things.
Yeah, but I like your designs, man. They're really interesting. Like a lot of those characters I would like to see in comics or cartoons.
Cool.
It would be interesting to see them move.
Yeah.
You've got a good sense for the silhouette, and take that for what it is from somebody who draws like weird.
Yeah. I kind of got that from working in animation.
It's. I think my sense of silhouettes also changed a lot since starting at Van Art, at least. Clint definitely drove that into us. Yeah, it'll be cool to actually get Clint on this as well.
Yeah, we should.
He's a very interesting guy.
But after working in animation, I became like hyper aware of tangents and silhouettes, and like better posing, etc.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's an important.
No, definitely.
Like, if anybody listening to this is thinking about getting into any form of art or animation, I mean, I guess animation in particular is definitely learn how to silhouette, learn how to. Because a few years ago, like balance as well. I had like a few years ago, I didn't understand the balance thing. Like I think it was a year before I even came to Van Arts. It was I would draw a picture and I'd be like, why does this picture look weird? And then like one day I was like reading a tutorial. I was like, no, balance this, put like it over the feet like this, make sure this is what. I'm like, and my drawings got like already better just from that. So it's I would definitely learning to silhouette, learning to balance, and then learning. I mean, just basic anatomy, just the circles of anatomy can help so much rather than, I mean, look, obviously it would be great to learn every single muscle, but that's definitely advice I would.
My big tip is just draw from life. Yeah, if you're gonna expand to like more cartoony stuff, just base it on life before you like jump off into
because
space.
I mean, I don't know if you ever fell in this trap. I hear this has happened to a lot of people who like get into anime, right? And then they're like, I want to draw anime, and partly because it's easier to them, and other reasons is because I guess sometimes there's that superiority of anime that a lot of people love, and like just because the eyes are big and you don't have to worry about all the finite details, like all of a sudden they think that they can, that they become good anime artists, and then they're not. And I fell into that trap. I was also like, anime is a little bit easier to draw, and then you slowly learn that it's not. But I got into the anime drawing, and I was actually going on to a tangent on this, but I can't remember now. But I would definitely think that instead of drawing cartoon, like you draw anime, develop that style, but definitely, as you said, draw to life. Get that pose of a woman, and then exaggerate it that little bit, and then boom,
definitely,
draw over that with your big eyes and small nose and pointy chin. Crazy hairstyles.
It's about the chin. It's all about the chin.
Okay. Any particular anime that you're in love with?
At the moment, or just like in general?
Yeah, at the moment, I suppose.
Okay. I just rewatched Gurren Lagann. That was really good.
I love that one. That's possibly one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's really good. Story's kind of not that
it's
great,
ridiculous,
and the characters are like one-dimensional, but it's just so much fun.
It's exactly that. Did you watch Kill la Kill?
Yeah.
And what did you think of that?
It was amazing.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, that animation quality kind of dipped down in the middle.
I think they did that on purpose.
Just budget stuff, maybe.
No, I think it was a stylistic choice.
Oh, okay.
I honestly do, because a lot of it was, because I mean there's times where everything's like really hyper animated and hyper detailed, and then there's other times like where like the main character will just like slide, she doesn't move or anything, she just slides, as if they're just sliding a thing. And I do think that was a stylistic choice, which made me love it, but if somebody can tell me otherwise, I think I might still love it, because it's definitely charming.
Yeah, I guess that kind of just threw him off, because some scenes are just like amazingly animated, like amazing for shortening, moving, and like action scenes and stuff. Then like for 20 minutes there's no animation, and it's just like a slideshow, or like it blinks,
or like one character just moving slowly while a big shiny bit actually, what do you think of Panty. Have you seen Panty and Stocking with
Yes.
Belt?
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea of like they're influenced by Powerpuff Girls, but Powerpuff Girls was influenced by anime. It's like this weird sort of. I enjoyed that movie anime too. It was. I should actually do an anime critique show maybe one day.
Okay.
But movies right
fun.
now is.
Okay.
I'd like to get Spencer, and I haven't actually really spoken to you about movies. I'm going to speak to Spencer a lot, right? He's got an opinion about everything.
Yeah.
And getting him on one of my movie casts would be nice.
Cool.
But
yeah, you should do that. You should plan that.
Okay.
Note to Wesley in the future.
Yeah, Wesley, just do that. And if you're a listener whose name's Wesley, I'm not talking to you. Or Wesley, as the North Americans pronounce it.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to Starbucks, I always get my name spelled Wizzly.
Okay.
Like Wesley. I'm like, what is Wesley? All right. Okay. And let's get back to you. You don't need to know about me. Tell me a couple of your favorite things.
Okay.
I need to know some interesting details.
What?
Tell me. Let's start off with a film.
Okay. Favorite film? Rushmore by. Fuck.
You can't swear on my shit. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Rushmore. Remind me what that movie is. You mentioned it earlier, but I couldn't remember.
What is his name? It's like one of my favorite directors.
I can't even remember the film. So. Well, Rushmore. You liked it because.
Moonrise Kingdom. Grand Budapest Hotel.
I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember the name.
I'll quickly Google this. And
All right.
you
Okay.
get to edit out some silence.
Okay. Okay, about 36 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Okay, yeah?
Yeah, it's Wes Anderson.
Oh, Wes Anderson, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I honestly actually wasn't even thinking about him.
Yeah.
You like Wes Anderson?
I like Wes Anderson.
Okay, well, I mean,
He has
whatever.
some good cinematography, and I like the characters and I like his stuff.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody, definitely.
I don't know, man. I like to believe I'm quite the open-minded film goer, but I don't know. I mean, one of my favorite. I've also just forgotten. My favorite movie director is 2001: Space Odyssey guy.
Stanley
Kubrick.
Also one of my favorites.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's like him. I love just his everything.
Yeah.
That I understand.
Yeah.
But I mean, then again, Wes wouldn't have gotten where he is without being good, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people must appreciate his work. Okay. So
Each to their own.
So what happens in Rushmore again?
His teacher, and then Bill Murray is also fallen in love.
Who's the teacher? Because
I don't remember her name.
it's not Drew Barrymore.
It's not Drew Barrymore.
Okay. Then I don't remember this one.
Yeah.
Okay. What about TV shows? Any particular TV shows other than Gurren Lagann that?
TV shows. Can we just beatbox for 30 minutes?
Okay, so just needed to lay some lines down there. Yo, my name is Nikko, and I'm here to say.
Can you pause it again?
Okay, so yeah, you were telling me your favorite TV show is
Adventure Time.
You like the wibbly wobbly arms.
Yeah.
Did you get into it like before it was even a Cartoon Network show at all?
Yep, I watched the show doing like, I want this so bad, and then they're making it.
Yeah.
And they made it. Now there's 6 seasons.
I'm happy for them. I'm glad like stuff like even the Bravest Warriors is happening, and Bee and Puppy Cat. I think Bee and Puppy Cat right now is
looks really good.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Yeah. I just love it. Feels like a dream the whole time.
That
like,
it exists?
Yeah, no, the show.
Oh,
like,
the show.
It's like I'm watching a dream.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's not like those. You know the guy who created Salad Fingers, David Firth.
Yeah.
He was on Newgrounds too. Yeah. He creates this. I can't remember the name of it, but he named it after something that he had in a dream, and every episode is based on sort of like this weird dream stuff.
Okay.
And he talks about like I've got to find this again and I'll share it with you because it's really interesting.
Yeah.
But you basically just look under David Firth, you'll find it on his YouTube channel, and it's just like really weird things, like things will come out the wall and fall, and then he'll like this one sequence me and my buddy quote all the time. It's like there's this guy walks up to his guitar and he goes, "There's a dog trapped in me guitar," and then this dog's like mouth like extends out the guitar and it goes, "Help, I'm trapped in your guitar." And the guy replies, "You're a dog, you can't talk." And then it's like, "Row, row, 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 row." It's like, "I know you're hungry, but I can't fit a beef shell through there."
Yeah.
And then he walks away. Like the whole thing's like this weird sort of dream, you know? Like,
salad fingers?
yeah, the guy who makes the salad fingers.
Oh, it's
like,
not salad fingers.
Yeah.
It's a
Salad,
different
salad
thing.
fingers
Okay.
is the Rusty Spoons guy.
Yeah.
No. This is it's from the guy who makes the Salad Fingers cartoons, and
Sure.
it's all weird. Like I think it's based off dreams he's had, but he does obviously make it a bit weirder.
Okay.
But the Being Puppy Cat doesn't feel like that. See, that's like sort of weird Dadaism dreamscapes, right? Like
Okay.
Being Puppy Cat just feels like, oh, there's this like space and like the way you think of space when you're a kid, and I don't know how else to describe. I like it. That's what lures me to it. Like I love the design of it, and Puppy Cat is pretty cool too. What about books?
Books, let's say Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut.
Okay, and what's that about? I haven't read that.
It's about the firebombing in Dresden, but there's also like some fiction laden into it, like
Okay.
some fantasy stuff.
So it's like sort of like alternate history type fiction?
No, it's just a history, but this character is unstuck in time, kind of, and he's kind of like teleporting between like different times of his life, and there's aliens, but it's kind of a hallucination.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. You should read it.
Yeah, no, that actually does sound
Yeah.
interesting. It's a good thing I'm writing these down.
Yeah.
One of the great things about doing this show is like people introduce me to different things I sometimes wouldn't have introduced myself to or stumbled across, and it's just been great. Okay, and what about video games?
Video games. Let's say Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow, you love the what's in particular is drove you to that?
I guess it was one of the first video games to convince me that video game is an art
Mm-hmm.
and can do beautiful, moving things and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it because that I mean, just every time you encounter a Colossus, it's definitely it's like wow, you know, and they just get grander and grander.
Yeah.
And the ending, of course, was quite the twist.
Exactly.
But I must be honest, like I felt, and I've never felt like video games weren't art. In my, I mean, I've been playing games since like Atari days.
Yeah.
I've never felt like, I mean, okay, maybe the Atari games weren't necessarily art.
Yeah.
But I mean, there were games even on the NES that definitely made people think or look at things in a different way.
Yeah.
I don't know. But to be honest, when I was playing games like on the NES and the SNES and etc., it was mostly I want to play this game. I want to make this character do fun stuff.
Yeah.
Woo! And I mean, I love platformer games. Like those are my favorite 2D platformers in general, but 3D platformers too.
Yeah.
Those are my go-tos. I'm sad that they're not as prevalent as they used to be.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah, they were big on the PS2.
3D platformers.
Yeah, 3D platformers.
Yeah. The 2D platformer. Kind of. I guess it's kind of making a resurfacing.
Yeah, indie games and stuff.
Yeah. The indie game scene is great.
Yeah.
I really hope it doesn't get
Implode.
destroyed.
The bubble doesn't pop.
Yeah, I mean it will, but I don't want
All
it to.
bubbles pop.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Well, I think we can pretty much wrap up your history. We got quite a little bit of information.
Cool.
Where can these fine people find you online?
You can find me at NikkoGui, NIKKOGUI.tumblr.com.
That'll be in my description on the YouTube channel, and probably on your card, your card, which is on the Tumblr.
Cool.
And yeah, well, but thanks for chatting, and we'll see. Do you want to sign us off?
How do I do it?
You just say goodbye in your own way.
Goodbye.
All of my collections, I'll share them all with you. Maybe by next summer, we won't have changed our tune. We'll still want to be with the butterflies and bees, making